Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece. Peace, peace, peace.
So about 7 months ago, I moved out of my parents' place and I got myself an apartment. The apartment that I got was a little bit pricey, but it was worth it. It was a really nice apartment complex. And plus, I work at a job where I make really good pay. Once I moved in and settled down into the place, I decided to go off to bed because I had to work the next morning. As I was falling off to sleep, I woke up and I felt someone staring at me. But the thing I noticed was I couldn't move. My body was stiff. I couldn't blink. I couldn't do anything. I could only just look. And when I saw during my sleep paralysis frightened me, but I couldn't react. He was a very tall man. He had pretty much a human body, but when I looked at his legs, they were hairy. And I'm not talking about hairy like, someone forgot to shave them. I'm talking about they had animal fur on it. And as I looked, his feet were weird. They weren't human feet. They were like horse feet or some kind of creature's feet. I can't really explain it to you. It's hard for me to describe it, but it was not normal. Another thing I noticed was this man or slash beast will always have its back turned towards me, so I couldn't see the front features. It would just stand there for a while. I couldn't move, but I felt fear creeping up on me to the point tears started to come out of my eyes. I then went back to sleep, and by the next morning I woke up and I was able to move. I didn't know what I saw, and maybe I just paid it no mind, but it felt weird because I never had sleep paralysis before. The following night, I went off to bed, hoping that I wasn't going to have another episode. But I woke up a few hours later, my body once again stiff. I looked around, and at first I didn't see that odd creature or man. But then when I turned around, I saw it. It was laying in my bed next to me, looking at me. And what I saw made me have to go to a sleep specialist because I didn't want to have to sleep. Because I was afraid I was going to see that thing again. What I saw when it was laying in the bed, its face turned towards me. It had a man's face, but the eyes were not human eyes. They had animal-like eyes. The eyes were green, and it had pupils of a cat or a snake, and it had rows of sharp teeth. And then, without thinking, this man or creature began to bite at my arms and rip it off. I was in an immense amount of pain. I couldn't move, I couldn't yell, I couldn't scream, I couldn't do anything. The only thing that was happening was tears were flowing out of my eyes. That's the only thing I could do. And then the creature, after it got my arm, it went towards my face. I remember seeing its mouth opened up wide, and then it went for my face. And then I woke up, panting and breathing and sweat all over my body and all over the bed. The next morning, I talked to my landlord about moving me into a different apartment in the complex I was staying at because I felt like something wasn't right about the apartment I was staying at. Surprisingly, the landlord agreed with me. He said that he would be very happy to move me into a different apartment, and the only thing he said that made me question things, but he never really elaborated further, was that he should have never moved me into that apartment. I tried asking him what he mean by that, but he brushed me off and told me it was nothing. A couple of weeks later, I finally got settled into a different apartment, and I haven't experienced sleep paralysis since then. It's been 7 months since that incident, and like I said, I haven't experienced that since then. I don't know what happened in that apartment complex I was staying at before, but apparently it had to have been something dark for me to have sleep paralysis and see that creature. It really frightened me, but I'm glad that I don't have sleep paralysis anymore. And I pray and hope my landlord doesn't let anyone else go into that apartment complex. There's no telling what will happen to them.